Hey folks, it's Ted Cantu here with the win, and we're with the think tank. Today is December 23rd. 2 more days, it's going to be Christmas, and just a basic housekeeping report here about just business in general. 2024 is going to be a really, really interesting year. I'm looking forward to it. But along with that, I need to tell you a few things about how we're going to go. First of all, really important. I get slammed every year with these multi-level company offers. Every year. It's been like that ever since I moved here. I shouldn't say moved here. I should say when I got marooned here. Okay. When I crash landed here all those years ago, I've been getting nothing but insincere people. Yeah. With MLM people, which I think are like the lowest. I get them every year. And sometimes the offers are good, sometimes the products are good, but for the most part, every January I get this stuff. I also get offers to do sweat equity, right? I'm not doing those jobs either. Out of the goodness of your heart, you're going to let me take your business, put all my time and effort into it. And if it makes money based on your marketing expertise, that's so great. All I got to do is amplify it. I get a percentage. Sorry, not doing those either. Uh, I'm just not going to do them. So before you get your wheels turning that we're going to make money together, we're not. Okay. Let me just put that out there right now. So, but you are invited to fill out an application and qualify to work with my company. I will consider it. 2024. Make note of that. Christmas parties. So glad I didn't go to any this year for the following reasons. I have some really interesting screenshots here of a fundraiser that we put together along with Savvy Sliders. This went out, well, actually almost 2 years ago. And what it turned into was uh, not what I expected. I was going to go and support these guys and help them launch their company and meet some people. And I invited some friends of mine to come along. And what I thought was going to happen was we were going to meet the mayor, right? Great photo opportunity. If you really care about community and your company, here's your chance to get a picture with the mayor of Troy, right? Troy, Michigan. And then also uh, state your case, what you want to do for the public. I had a woman that was teaching people how to, uh, you know, do healthy choices by stop smoking and all this stuff. And she was going to make this big campaign. I said, here's the mayor. He might get some leverage for you. So she shows up, not going to mention her name. And what it turned into was like a drunken sorority party where people are just hanging on each other, kissing on each other, taking selfies. The mayor stood in the corner. You see that I got photo bombed here by this guy. I don't know who he is. God bless him. We'll just call him Cupcake. He ruined my shot of the mayor and my business colleague that over there. That it was dismal. So you misinterpreted what I said. And also, I had to pick up her dry cleaning. Unbelievable, right? She wanted to push it, see how far you push. And I'm not doing that anymore either. And I understand she's from a different country, and that's probably how they do things over there. I was going to be her lackey or her coolie. That's not happening this year. So sorry about that. Uh, we're not doing that either. So I'm going down this list of things that are pretty important. I gotta say, as I'm moving away from the negative stuff, you gotta have a story with your company. This is so important. And when I say you got a story, I got a client right now who's got a very interesting thing. He does sewer repair and plumbing repair. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's not plumbing. It's more. It's just sewer repair. I say plumbing because it falls into the category of plumbing with Google Maps, and Google will only acknowledge one particular category for what you do, just one. And unfortunately, it doesn't really cover what he does. So they got him for a base keyword, but now since he works out of his home, he's not even able to get on the maps. Now, Google My Business did change their policy recently, so I think you can probably get away with it with their maps program. You might be able to, because before it was a two-step process. You had to put your company address in, get a verification postcard, have it sent to your physical business address, not your apartment, not your home, your physical business address, brick and mortar storefront. And a lot of you guys don't have that now because of COVID. A lot of us work out of our homes. It was very, very difficult to get verified. So we have a way around it. We got a way to use map technology for any combination of base keyword and niche keyword and get you listed on the first page of Google like this over here. We got some shots, some of our progress, but the maps thing is kicking off like right now. So we're looking for people that want to get signed up, and we can put you on the first page of Google for that, which is really, really awesome. So you're going to see that when you, what am I saying here? The map thing. I get one more thing to say about it. If you're not on the maps program right now, this is a really good time to do it. There's a lot of limitations with the Google Maps program. You can only be in so many places. You can't be like in 50 cities. You can only be like in just a few locations. And if you use your Gmail account, they will actually ban your account. I got my account restricted on GMB because I used Gmail 20 times in one shot. You're not supposed to do that. It's almost like they're going to say, you can use our tools, but if you use them seriously, we might have to ban your account, as what they're doing. And I'm just not going to do that anymore either. Going back to the 13 steps of touch when you contact a company. I understand some industries will go a little bit higher than 13. I don't mean 13 phone calls. I don't mean 13 phone calls at all. I am talking about actually reaching out the 13 times. Some of you guys have media that you can use. It could be a podcast. It could be interviews. It could be a white paper, a newsletter. Would actually count as a touch, right? When I say touch the customer with, reach out, you can use something like send out cards. I mean, I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. People have done that, okay, and have done well with just cards. I would really mix it up a lot. I would probably put some postcards in there to get people thinking about your niche, and brand yourself. Because remember, what a brand is not so much what you really put into it, but it's what people say about you behind your back. That's the thing. That's why I stopped going to all these brand camps and stuff that was so trendy just a couple of years ago. I stopped going to those because it's the same information over and over again, and it has no validity until I believe it might have been David Ogilvy who actually kind of set me straight on this idea that a brand is what people say about you behind your back. And that got me thinking really hard about the kind of impressions that I want to make on people. So when you do the 13 steps, think about the different types of way you can drip on people, just to kind of use a Dan Kennedy phrasing, right? It could be a postcard with a headline, could be a white paper, could be a special video or an interview that relates towards your niche. I'm not Canadian. I'm just going to say niche. Okay. Is that cool enough? And I think there's also going to be some really good ideas to include every piece of your media in there with some kind of branding, a logo on it of your company. At least put your face on it so people know that it's you, and they can connect you with your communication, because right now there's so much saturation in marketing, and as far as getting bombarded with email even, and just all of it is really, really important. Now, I would also suggest that you take your prospects offline as quick as possible. And what I mean by that is, if they're inside of your Facebook group, or if they're inside of your doesn't matter really where you get them from, your LinkedIn group, take them offline as quick as possible and get them into a situation where you can communicate with them one-on-one. Is really so important. instead of just having your message float there on a Facebook group or in a LinkedIn post, get them into your phone where you can actually get them into a messenger environment, or just a text would be great. With, you can put your links in there. It goes right back to your website for more information. That is really, really important, because right now our attention is so scattered. It it really requires you to be more attentive. So those are my thoughts on that. Now, the 13 step idea, I gotta say, came from Joe Girard, who won the was it the Guinness World Book of Records record for selling cars, and like the most cars in 1 year. And this is back in the 1970s. I want to say 1976 or so. But part of his 13-step program was to get people into this line of direct communication, personal phone call, postcard, sometimes a card for their birthdays. Birthdays are a big deal now, apparently. It's never used to be when I was a kid, but now, for some reason, that's our culture. I want to blame Facebook for that, because before I went through a bunch of birthdays where I I, I didn't celebrate. But now it's like, if you don't remember someone's birthday in this culture, they're gonna, like, open their veins or something. So it's bizarre. So just pay attention to it. People are super sensitive now. Don't know why. Maybe it's they didn't get enough love as a child. Who knows? But send out cards does it. If you don't want to do it yourself, I've always heard that a handwritten note would do it too. Go down to Walmart and just get a bunch of 99-cent cards. Or if you want to go, high profile, papyrus or papyrus or whatever how you pronounce it, makes beautiful cards. They're about $9 a piece. If you like the person, you can go the extra mile and do that, and make an impression. It's part of the 13 steps. How the results went with this guy was he would sometimes sell as many as 10 cards, or 10 cars, not cards. It's early in the morning over here. 10 cars in one day. Out of his whole department, he was the one that was selling the most. So it was a big deal, and he did really well, obviously. And he retired too, so he really outshone his colleagues on the sales room floor. 13 steps. A lot of you guys can't go 13 steps. A lot of you guys can't go 3 steps. I've seen your material. I've seen your marketing material. It's not good, a lot of it. And it's hard, especially if you got a thing like you got a website. Like I said, I got a guy who does sewer repair. And his whole thing is, hey, do you need your sewer repaired? Here's my website. Not much of a story there. Is it a family business? Are you proud of the business? Do you specialize in hotels? Do you specialize in restaurants? What's the niche category? And the category was basically, well, anybody who needs a sewer repair can come to us. And the message, the feeling is, we're not any bigger or better than anybody else. Our prices are competitive. And here's the line I really hate the most. We care about family. No, we treat you like family. Oh my God. To a guy like me, that's radioactive. You say, I treat you like family. Don't do that. Don't treat me like my family. My family treats me terrible. Don't do that. To me, that's like that's radioactive. I don't want to do that. We treat you like family. I've seen window companies do this. I've seen roofing companies, landscape companies. We treat you like family. Oh, that's terrible. Instantly, I think subconsciously, since we did the thing on the miracle mind shift, I'm thinking about conversations that pop in on the subconscious level, like, are you going to finish college this year? Are you going to make the GPA? Are you going to make the dean's list? Because your father never went to college. You'll never probably graduate. You'll be better off digging ditches. That's family. That's my family. You don't want my family treating you like family. You don't want my family around, period. Trust me. So I really think that's the wrong way to go. Emotional touches, how you craft your message is so important. And make it about the individual. right? You want to take them from a place where they are right now and elevate them to a place where they can be 5 years from now, emotionally. And people buy on different things. People buy for different reasons. They do really, really well with emotions. So, like, if you're looking at like people buy out of greed, the greed factor, they gotta have it. If you don't believe that, greed is actually a good thing. You go to a yard sale, you'll be surprised at how much costume jewelry you're going to find that was just based on greed. A lot of these boxes were never opened. The jewelry was never used. It was almost like there was a closing sale, everything must go sale, and this woman bought like purses, jewelry, never used in the boxes, and it's at the yard sale now because she's got to move, or it's an estate sale, or she's just got to leave. People buy on greed. Cheap watches that look halfway decent. You'll see that kind of stuff for the men's stuff. Uh, a lot of golf stuff, a lot of really hokey golf cologne, um, decanters with like logos and stuff on it. When I say hokey men's gifts, go to Macy's and you'll see what I mean for the stocking stuffers. The stocking stuffers, since it's Christmas, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So greed is a thing that actually motivates people. If you can push the greed buttons on anybody, it's so important to do that, right? They buy on emotions. They also buy with like keeping up with the Joneses, right? That kind of mentality. I got to keep up with my neighbors. What will my neighbors think? If I don't get the right kind of fence, or the right kind of lawn ornaments, I don't look like I want to look as good as the Johnsons down the street. They got a better lawn than we do, so we gotta amp up our game. It's amazing what people buy. It's stuff that I look at and I go, it doesn't make a difference to me, you know. I grew up in the city, so I don't care about that stuff. But to some people it does. So that's so important. And people also buy out of fear. Now, if you're selling a product that has to deal with health, right? But especially with all this COVID stuff that's going on now, and who knows how real it is. So that's also important. Longevity, right? And health, and uh, you could twist this thing around so many different ways. Fear of getting older, aging, staying youthful. Um, Play with it, but it's all motion based. Put as much of that stuff as you can into your sales copy. Put as much stuff as you can into your sales postcards, your headlines, your sales copy. I got to show this picture again. I couldn't believe this. I got I got hired into a company last fall to help a CEO launch a CEO. It's early, okay? It's early to help a CEO drive an SEO component for his business. And this is what he told me. We got a sales copywriter. We got a copywriter. I said, okay, cool. I like, one less thing I have to deal with. I meet this girl and she says, and she waits until after I was hired in as a staff member. And she goes, well, this is what I do. I look at the copy and then I send it off to our legal department and then they make all the changes to it. And you get a little copyright symbol, you know. Is this what you're talking about? The copyright symbol? No. Sales copy, salesmanship in print, copywriting. How much clearer can I make it? Headlines, sales copy, bullet points with benefits, and explains what the product does. How much clearer can I make that? And she didn't do it. In fact, these guys didn't do any of that stuff. Let me just break it down like this to you. Okay. Alan Forrest Smith trained me to write sales copy. Brett McFall, Can't get much clearer than that. Dan Kennedy. Okay. Uh, Another guys that are doing this with sales copy was Jim Edwards. You guys don't understand that. Unbelievable. Why do we need it? Let's just put our phone number on there. Let's just say we care about family. We treat you like family and put our logo on it. And that's about, no kidding, man. That's about 97% of all the home improvement companies that I work with. That's what they do. And it looks ridiculous. You want to make an impact on people. Sales copy is important. What I'm saying is that most of you that are listening to this show can't go 13 steps. You can barely go 3. You want to be in constant contact with these people with something meaningful and something valuable to say in your marketing message. That's where it's at. You can't be doing the same thing. I used to walk into businesses and I would see like, I would talk to people. I believe one was a limo company, right? And a guy comes out and he says, "Oh, let me stop you right there. We've done sales copy. Let me show you something." And he goes to his closet, opens up this door, and he sees like, I'm not making this up, man. I saw like 3,000 unsent full color postcards that were like this high, you know. I mean, like just boxes that he didn't send out. He says, we sent these all out one time. That was one touch, and we got no response. And they stopped right there. It was a cold call postcard launch, which is probably one of the worst things you can do on the first call. I've lost money too doing direct mail with one touch, and you will lose money on it because people don't know who you are. I would rather do it the other way. Nurture the relationship, get them on the treadmill of knowing you first. And that could be through a Facebook group. It could be through different types of groups on LinkedIn. You could have your own group. You can get, I'm not sure if Ning is still a thing, but you could actually get people into your personal group with collecting information. There's 12 new web traffic strategies, by the way, that came through the Russell Brunson group that are really interesting, that you can tap right into your niche market and start getting people. You can take shortcuts now. And I think with AI, you can do some stuff too with some of the tools that are coming out. Lots to say on this show because there's a lot of subscriptions that are coming out. Some of them are weekly. I know some of the YouTube ones are weekly for web traffic and for people with live eyeballs. Pretty interesting. We didn't have this stuff even a year ago. So before I go into my big drum roll moment, I'm going to keep it focused and say that there are other ways to get people in your pipeline. Once you do that, then I would probably suggest doing some sort of a multiple touch thing, but I wouldn't even go full color. Now I'm going to go down another rabbit hole. You could go black and white and do cardstock postcards as long as the messaging is really, really tight with your headlines in your base message. It could be low cost, but you want to go multiple times with it. And I would also suggest getting people on mobile numbers so you can actually do some text messaging, which is a lot cheaper than doing, postage. I think postage is actually going up now because I wouldn't suggest doing the bulk rate because it's super cheap and mailmen will actually throw it in the garbage. There's no guarantee your stuff will get delivered. It happens a lot. But when you send a live stamp, it's guaranteed to go and get delivered to its place, which brings me another point. A lot of businesses are closed. So your stuff could be sitting in some office, which I used to call a dead letter office, and the lights are turned off. Nobody ever checks the mail. Your message may not get delivered. I pay attention to stuff like that all the time. Our governor in Michigan will always tell you, Michigan's doing great. She's a Democrat. She's going to say that. Michigan's doing great. We're bounced back from COVID. We're bounced back. But, she was so upset she didn't get the VP position Yeah, it pissed her off, and and a lot of people got closed. I mean, businesses folded, and you can't. The economy tanked. You drive through Royal Oak, and a lot of businesses are closed, like they've never been opened in a long time. And I'm talking about during prime time hours. Could be a Tuesday, could be a Wednesday, and you drive down some of the streets, and you'll just see dentist offices with their lights out, block after block after block. Chiropractors, same thing. Uh, it's amazing who's getting your stuff. You want to make sure you get a contact person, get yourself a cell phone number so your messages can actually go in and get delivered. Same thing with the messenger system. That works too. You know, you want to make sure you actually go inside their inbox in some way and make some sort of an impact. A lot of you guys aren't doing that. I see a lot of businesses go for the usual suspects, you know. Detroit Hour Magazine would be like one of the high end style of doing it. There's a hometown reader newspaper that comes out that's pretty hokey that people subscribe to. You know, well, I should say subscribe. I should say they subscribe to the idea of advertising in it. Now, how successful is it? I really can't say, but I see a lot of that kind of stuff going on. Valpak was another waste of money out there. When people grab it, and I'm guilty of this, I used to get them in the mail and I'd grab it. I wouldn't even open it. I would just throw it in the garbage. The whole thing could be like 50 businesses in there. They mean well. They want you to, you know, they want you to actually take their offer serious or at least see their, you know, their ad. Well, I wouldn't even bother reading it. I just throw the whole thing in the garbage. Same thing with the promotional coupon flyers that come in the mail. You know, when it's wrapped around my mail, I take it out of my mailbox. Sometimes it gets caught on a corner and it tears, and I rip part of it. And if I rip part of it, I know, I'm just gonna throw it away. I don't even read it. I don't even read it. Terrible. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's not a really great return. Because when I talk to business owners, and it could be anybody, it could be insurance salesmen, could be real estate people, it could be uh, uh, you know, retail store people, they'll say, well, we put our thing in the flyer, you know, we put our ad in there, and that's where we put we put a quarter of our money in there this you know, for the quarterly thing. We did that. Yeah. They might only get them one time. They might actually only do it one time and then they'll just turn their back on it. They don't want to do it again. So that's the kind of stuff that's out there. I'm saying to rise above it. Oh boy, there's my time. I gotta get moving. Um, to rise above it and to really plan this out with some sort of measurables, benchmarks of like how you're gonna move your campaign forward. But put some thought into it. I think if you just wallpaper the web with your company and your branding name, it may not be enough in 2024. I think you're going to have to really go deep with people and communicate who you are on a deeper level. And I want to say that this is about lead nurturing. Last year there was so many companies coming out with this thing called lead gen. I'm a lead gen company. I drive a Lamborghini and all this stuff. I don't see those guys around anymore. I used to see a lot of, there was a Shark Tank guy, was it Kevin Harrington? And then he partnered up with a bunch of people. And these are not marketing people. They were like everyday people. And they became lead gen experts. But they all bought Lamborghinis. They all bought these expensive cars. And to the point where it didn't mean anything anymore. But I don't see those guys around anymore. You can buy leads. That's not the problem. I can get you leads right now. I have a program, Lead Scrape. I can actually go in there and get all the leads I want. I had this guy tell me, I will pay. Bro. He calls me bro. You get me these leads, bro. I'm gonna pay you like $2,000, bro. like we're doing a drug deal or something. I said, okay, no problem. Go home, boom, spits out 2,000 leads. But what he's looking for, come back, show it to him. He goes, oh no, man, I can't use those, man. I just don't have the money, man. I'm just sorry, man. Yeah, bro, I can get my own leads, man. It ain't no thing. You're talking stupid like that with me, right? Don't waste my time calling my office like that. And I'm looking right at you right now. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Leads are not the problem. Anybody can get leads now. That's not the problem. It's lead nurturing. All right. You got to be a salesman. You got to be a copywriter. You got to be really good with persuasion, knowing how to hit their buttons. Having some NLP skills helps too. I happen to have a degree in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and even that's not enough. It's about copywriting, emotional touches, figuring out how your prospect thinks, zeroing in on their greed factor, any one of the emotional responses of reactions, and then you got something. You're not going to be spinning your wheels. Your prospects are either going to be in the yes category or the no category. And that's it. There's really no in between. And right now, I would suggest that you divide your people as such to make your move. Low hanging fruit could happen if you do it right. But if you do a shotgun approach and there's no reason for it, you're going to be hanging all over people at these social events. Let me just tell you the reason why I don't go to these things anymore. Okay. I went to the Ion group. That's fair enough to say. The Ion group is defunct because I believe it was more of a scam thing. The guy called me up on Christmas. I'm not kidding you. And he asked for $1 million from me and my mother to be part of this Ion group. It's exclusive. And it was over in Birmingham. And I told him, forget it. But I was kind of scared because he had no hesitation to ask for it. That was the most unbelievable, unsettling thing that ever happened to me. Aside from a coaching group out of Las Vegas last January that asked me for $16,000, 11:30 on a Sunday night. I didn't mention his name. There's not going to be a knock on my door for a lawsuit. I've been there with some marketing people. I kept my mouth shut, and you know who he is. I just gave you 2 clues, but I didn't say his name. So this kind of stuff is ridiculous. And I was over in this group of people, and a representative from the Yellow Pages came over. She put her arm around me, which I know I'm not into touching people out in public, and especially people I don't even know. I I'm not a touchy-feely guy. I grew up in the city. I took subways. I'm very, you got to give me space because I'm not going to touch you. And that's a promise. And this woman just put her arms around me, and her face like right here, and she had like this horrible. I'm gonna gag if I start talking about it. This boozy, like whiskey, like God, like Gouda cheese, awful, grotesque, grotty breath, liver pate, single malt whiskey breath, and she almost threw up on me. She's like, "Cantu, man, you gotta advertise in my Yellow Pages directory." And the thing was, it was so funny about it was that I was gonna be one marketing guy in my category on Yellow Pages with like 3,000 other advertising companies. That's like taking a dropper, and putting you're special, and I'm gonna put it right over here in the big ocean, just drop in the ocean. There you go, collect and go. Just give my fee, thank you. You're a drop in the ocean now. That doesn't do anything for anybody. So I created a system that was actually going to bring you leads, and leads of referring businesses to you. Yeah, I got videos on it, so you can go ahead and check it out. But that's what we're doing. It's a whole, distinctive difference. It's better. Another thing, I'm not I'm not hanging out with a bunch of selfie people that are at Christmas parties that are just hanging all over each other, breathing on you, like we're at some drunken sorority party. I hate those things, man. I don't go to any of that stuff anymore. I learned my lesson and I stayed away. To me, those people are radioactive. Plus, half the room's broke. Yeah. And I know I am not labeled as a team player because I quit the team. And because it's bullshit. It's my show. I'll talk the way I want. I'm telling you the way it is. So, that being said, I do got to go. I've talked a little bit over my time. I do have the tendency to do that. I am Ted Cantu, ex-art director from Chicago and New York City and Detroit, which means I've seen some things. And in Detroit, I saw a lot of failure. I saw a lot of people leave business. I saw some of the same people who are big shots and billionaires with a B. That's what they tell me. They always say, for your information, I'm a billionaire with a B. Like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that people talk to me that way. I'm not going to put up with that with a straight face anymore either. I'm done because I see the same people drinking coffee at Little Daddy's. Little Daddy sucks. You know, I'm going to tell you. And if I was a billionaire, I'd be like the last place I'd go. All right. I had a waitress over there. She gave me coffee with this really clotty, rotted cream. I put it in there. And I go, excuse me, waitress, this coffee's rotten. I got rotten cream. And she looks at me and she goes, well, it happens. And just walks away, didn't offer to fix it, didn't offer to do anything. And if I was a billionaire with a B or whatever, or a millionaire with an M, why don't people do that? Why do people do that? It's unbelievable. I would not be there at all. Uh, uh, I could go on a rant of some of the stuff that I've seen, but I want to keep it on track. So, this whole idea with the 13 steps, do you have enough material to go the distance? Because leads are no longer the problem. You can go to USA Today. You can get lead scrape. You can get scrape box. You can get leads. No problem. How do you cultivate them to a sale? You can't. Some of you. In a home improvement, I've met your marketing people. We're talking about like Jethro and Opie. I don't know where you get these people from, man. They're not marketing people, and they're not writers. Sorry. I met them. That's my time. My phone number is 248-277-6141. I am Ted Cantu. The newly improved Ted Cantu. T.A. Cantu. And the spirit of P.T. Barnum stands for Truth in Advertising. And my email is tedcantu@gmail.com. And it's also my phone number, which you've got right there. And then my website is tedcantu.com. See, we make it simple for you. We don't drop all these hyphens and letters and extra stuff that you don't need in there, numbers and codes. It's just tedcantu.com. The other thing I can tell you is that right now we're doing a program for free. If you qualify, you got to be a business though. I don't want guys in MLMs. I don't want people working out of their homes. If you got a brick and mortar business, I would like to talk to you about putting you into our directory and connecting you with 3 of your best lead sources. That's a really cool thing to do. So with that, remember, if you can be successful online, well, I can do it. You can too, right? So that's what we see here on the show. I want to thank you for watching this morning. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy 2024. Until next time, see you online.